Samsung Galaxy S5 camera review. The S5 is the latest model in Samsung's line of Galaxy S flagship smartphones and replaces last year's Galaxy S4. The new model's camera comes with a slightly larger 1/2.6-inch CMOS BSI sensor and an increased pixel count of 16 MP, up from the S4's 13 MP. But the maximum aperture remains unchanged at f2.2. Like its phablet sibling the Galaxy Note 3, the S5 offers 4K video capture but has to make do without an optical image stabilization system. Samsung also claims to have improved off-speeds by implementing a phase detection system, similar to what's being used in digital SLRs. Other new imaging features include real-time HDR processing, a new camera user interface and the selective focus feature that allows you to blur the background by taking two pictures at different focus settings and merging them, similar to background defocus on the Sony Xperia Z2 or Nokia's Refocus app. In terms of design, with its rounded corners, metal band around the edges and the faux leather back, the S5 looks like a cross between Galaxy S4 and Note 3. However, the new model is also dust and water resistant with an IP67 rating, which means you can keep snapping in adverse weather conditions. As you would expect from a Galaxy S device, the non-camera components are top-notch. 2. Android 4.4.2 is powered by a Qualcomm quad-core 2.5 GHz Snapdragon S801 processor and 2 GB of RAM. Images can be stored on 16 or 32 GB of internal memory or microSD card, and the 1080p Super AMOLED screen measures a generous 5.1 inches. Read on to find out if and how all the high-end specifications translate into mobile photography performance. Key photographic video specifications: 1. 1/2.6-inch 16MP BSI CMOS sensor. 2. f2.2. 3. 31mm focal length, 35mm equivalent. 4. 4K video recording. 5. 2MP front camera. 6. Slow motion video. 7. Electronic image stabilization. Other specifications: 1. Qualcomm Snapdragon S801 2.5 GHz quad-core processor. 2. 2 GB RAM. 3. 16/32 GB internal memory, microSD slot up to 64 GB. 4. Android 4.4.2, KitKat. 5. 5.1-inch Super AMOLED screen, 1920 by 1080. 6. Dust and water resistant, IP67. 7. NFC. 8. Pulse meter. 9. 2800 mAh battery. Design and hardware. In terms of hardware, the Samsung Galaxy S5 offers some of the best you can find in a 2014 flagship smartphone. The device is powered by one of Qualcomm's currently most powerful SoCs, a 2.5 GHz Snapdragon S801 quad-core unit. The S5 offers 2 GB of RAM and users can pick between versions with 16 or 32 GB of storage. If you need more space for your images, there is a microSD card slot. 2. The Android 4.4.2 OS is controlled via a 5.1-inch 1080p Super AMOLED touchscreen that offers very good viewing angles and brightness. Compared to the predecessor, the screen has grown slightly but comes at the same 1080p resolution. A couple of recent high-end devices, the Oppo Find 7 and LG G3, have even overtaken their Samsung rival in this respect by offering QHD screens with a staggering resolution of 2560 by 1440 pixels. Also worth mentioning are the fingerprint sensor and the microSD 3.0 port. The Galaxy S5 does not disappoint in terms of camera hardware either. The 1/2.6-inch CMOS BSI sensor has not quite the same dimensions as the 1/2.3-inch sensors in most consumer-level compact cameras or Sony's Xperia Z1 and Z2, but is larger than the tiny 1/3-inch sensors used in most smartphones, including the S5's predecessors. At f2.2, the maximum aperture remains unchanged though, and the new model still does not come with an optical image stabilization system. In terms of Samsung uses a new approach, at least among smartphone makers, by adding phase detection sensors to the usual contrast detect system. With its rounded corners, metal band around the edges and the faux leather back, The S5 looks pretty much like a smaller version of the Galaxy Note 3 phablet and is such a little bland. The S5 does not have the minimalist look nor the premium feel of metal and glass-dominated devices, such as the HTC One M8 or Sony's Xperia Z models, but still gives you the impression of being a solid device. It's also water and dust resistant with an IP67 rating, which allows you to take photos in the rain or on the beach without having to worry about your expensive device. Like most current high-end Android phones, the S5 is quite large and if you have smaller hands probably too large for one-handed operation. Nevertheless, when using the device as a camera and holding it with two hands, it feels natural, and thanks to their positioning there is very little danger of obscuring lens or flash with the finger. The S5 is one of the few Android phones that still offers a physical home button. We prefer the on-screen versions of the competition, but this is arguably a matter of personal taste. Additionally, you get the power button on the right and volume rockers on the left side of the device, but no dedicated two-way shutter button. The final word. The Samsung Galaxy S5 combines a very comprehensive imaging feature set with the best image quality we have seen on an Android device so far. The camera on Samsung's flagship smartphone could be further improved with an optical image stabilization system, but even without OIS, the S5 is an easy recommendation to any mobile photographer using Google's mobile OS.